I love that I don't have to have an alarm clock anymore. I mean, I could literally sleep in every day if I want to. I get up with my kids. I love that I can be home with my kids. I love the bling that we get. I love the trips, and I'm taking my husband to BeautiControl already. And I love that I can just spend a little bit of time, as long as it's a system, and continue to have a successful business. So those are all things that are in the top of my head, and there's 3 things that we've learned. One of the things I want to tell you too is we just share as a group, and that's what I love about us is, you know, once you get a good idea, nobody holds it in, nobody says, oh, this is mine and I'm going to do it. We all just, what's going on? What are you doing? What's new? So I have a couple of new things that I'm excited to share with you about, and 3 things that we learned from Celebration from the top of all of BeautiControl, Michelle Jones, which I think is amazing. She has, and I have some notes here, sorry, so I don't want to forget this for you guys. 3 recruiting tips that she gave us. 1 is recruit with a purpose. 2 is have a meaningful conversation. And 3, have expectations for your spa girls. So I've really always had good promotions. I've always had tons of bookings to support enough people to share the opportunity with. So even if you don't know what to say, if you're just in front of a lot of people, that's going to get you recruits and just sharing what you have. But I really took this to heart. I wrote it down, and as I started doing exactly this, I saw how important this really is for my business, and it's like growing crazy. It's going to be great.
Can you share one more time? Those 3
yes, recruit with a purpose, meaningful conversation, and have an afterwards, after your new girl recruits, and have expectations for your new spa girl. So let's talk with recruiting for a purpose. So really what it is, and these are her words, these are people who you can change their lives, you can enhance them, you're making things better for people. Whether they want the lifestyle or they want the extra income, it's really not about, you know, getting $500 in product for $1. And if you start thinking this way, you put it in the front of your mind as you're out and about, and you're just, you know, you don't have to wait for a spa to share anything. So now I'm sharing the opportunity anywhere I go just by thinking of little windows that would be open. Like, for example, if, you know, I probably would never really wear this, but when I do certain things, I will wear it because it's kind of blingy for me. But I wear it all the time now because people go, oh my gosh, that's really awesome, or that's weird looking, or whatever. But it gives you an opportunity to open that window and say, oh my gosh, I know. I love my job. And I do spa treatments. Like, I hesitate for a second and say, I do spa treatments. I mean, that's not even proper English. I do spa treatments, but it works. and then say, you know, would you like more information? So those 3 words, would you like more information, sometimes they just give you the information because they want to get rid of you, but you got their information instead of here's your business card. So, and then when I call them, it's just a little conversation, you know, hi, I'm at Target, and I wanted to give you more information about the spa treatments. Were you interested in getting some for free, or did you want to, you know about the extra income? And I always bring them in through the spa. I say, well, the very best way to do this is to come in at ground level, is what I say, and just say, you know, and have a few people over, and we'll do, you know, we'll do 8 to 10 spa treatments in an hour. You'll see how it is, get their opinion, and if it's something for you, we'll go from there. So how I get people started is just, in the very beginning, it's just, how about if you have a couple people over and we'll do this? Now then I hostess coach them and I move that couple people up to 8 or 10 or 12. But first I start with that. So recruiting with a purpose, how I do it at my spas is the same way. If someone gives you any kind of compliment at all, or maybe they ask you any question at all, use that as a window. You know, one lady said, you know, your earrings, I love your earrings. And I'm like, oh, I know, I love my job. You know what, they give us all these blings, and now, you know, I don't even need an alarm clock. Just that has nothing to do with the earrings, but it was a little seed every time somebody says something. So then the next way that you can share the opportunity at your spas, and one more thing I want to tell you is, you don't have to all of a sudden, at the end of my spa, I have to recruit now. And that's what I kind of did. I go through my spa, and it would be great, and I'm so proud of myself doing this spa, and so happy that they want to buy everything. And then it was like, okay, now it's time, I got to do my thing. I got to do my recruiting thing. So I would almost stand up there and go, okay, and you know what? That really doesn't help you. So what you can do is know to take that all away You don't have to recruit them right then and there. You have a time before that. You have a time after that. You have a time to call them. There are several different times, and all it is sharing what you love. So one of the things that is new that I've done is this wish list, and I've always done a wish list before, but what makes it different, I'm going to pass this around so you can see it, is I actually wrote the different items that I use at my spa, and I put other items on there that maybe I don't do at my spa, but if they booked that kind of a spa, we would do it, like the pedicure set. I don't necessarily do that at every spa, and that's another good point, is keep your spas very simple, a lot of fun, but very simple. Do not overload them with different products, even though they're amazing, because they'll be too tired to book and they'll be too tired to join. So you really need to just forget that and just kind of look at your list and think, you know what, if I can't put all these things on here, I have too long of a spot. If I can't talk in like 30 minutes and be done with my part and then spend time with them, I have too much of a spot. And as soon as I started doing that, I started getting so much more bookings. So many more people wanted to hear about the opportunity. So this wish list is really a fun thing. So you put wish list, you put your items that you use, and skincare's on top. So I have about 3 or 4 different spa treatments left in my spa. And I pull this out and I say, I'm going to give you something tonight. And it feels kind of weird at first because you're used to giving the lap boards at the end of the spa. So at first, it's okay. Just do it anyway. So you pass it out and you just say, I'm going to give you something, because what we find is at our spas, we go through so many different treatments and you might not be able to remember everything you love. So I'm just going to give this to you, and I just pass it around. And I'm not going to give it to you. You can pass it around. It's just simple. But what's good about having it listed is they start circling and they start buying pretty much from this set sheet. There's no prices on it. So there's no, hindrance on what they want. So they're looking at it, and the one lady's like, what was that thing for your eyes? Oh, that was this. And then they start talking. Or what, microdermabrasion? Oh, we didn't do that yet. But you're going to want to circle that, but pretty soon we're going to do that in a second. But they just start selling their products. And then I'm going to show you how it really helps in the end with this wish list too. So the wish list is like a huge thing. The other thing is, so that's one more time. So I've planted some seeds. I've shared the opportunity throughout the spa with different people just talking. The other time that I'm sharing is with the wish list. Believe it or not, this helps you with recruiting and with booking and with selling, because now they have a problem. They have too many things in front of them that they really love. So that I'll show you in a minute. The other thing is this bag, or I'm sorry, this recruiting box or basket. And what I have in here is the $99 basket, or the kit that you can join my team. So again, if I'm standing up here, this makes me nervous that I have to share my, why I want you to join my team. I don't get nervous anymore, because this isn't the only time that I'm going to be sharing that. So what I can do is just say, and I just reach down, I do a couple more treatments, I reach down and I say, and here is all these different treatments, and I just pass it around, and it even lights up if you like the light bulbs. And you can pass it, and I just say, I pull it out, and I just say, I'm sorry, I say, this one of the great things about, what I do is I have access to all these treatments. So then that's when I pull out the basket and I say, you can go ahead and you can pick through and look through to here. This is one of the great ways that you can join tonight. We also have a couple other ways. One of them, and I have my bag, which I was going to bring up here, but I say one of them is where you get 2 different bags, and there's all different kinds of things. And I'm just talking with them. In fact, they're looking at, and half of them aren't even listening to me because they're looking at the bag and looking through it, or the basket. But one of the things I definitely say is very little, but I say, one of the things that I love is the treatments. And when I first started, I started making a little bit of money and paying off a little bit of credit cards, and eventually I was able to quit my job, and now I have so much less stress. So what happens when you say so much less stress, someone who's not really listening to me all of a sudden hears that, because every one of them seem to go, I want so much less stress. What is that? And they start looking at the kit, and it just kind of gives them a little visual of what they can do when they join. So again, it's not all this pressure of, okay, now I got to, no one jumps up off their seat. Sometimes they do and say, I'm going to get that. But it's just another way of sharing. So then at the end of my spa, and I've passed this around, I play a ticket game. And you could actually do all of these, you could do some of these, but the 3-step close is something that really has helped too on building the team. And what I do is now is I'm going to give you a chance to win some free products tonight, or free gifts. And usually it's a little mini like this, you know, or something, and you can put it in a little bag. Now I'm going to give you a chance to do that. And first of all, was there anything you used tonight that you really loved? And I don't spend a lot of time on this because I would say 2 minutes on this game, because you're going to feel like, oh, I'm recruiting, they're asking all these questions. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because again, you're just sharing at this point. So one of the questions I want them to ask me, and now I address what I want them to ask me. I say, you can ask me how much you can make. You could ask me if there's any cars or trips or bling or whatever, you know, kind of, and you could ask me how long I've been doing this, whatever you want to ask me, and when you do, you're going to get a ticket. So what you're trying to do is get them to ask you how much you can make. So if you look at the, I'm sorry, I thought I brought it up here. If you look at the hostess envelope, it tells you that on the list, it says spas are 500 to over 1,500. So if you look at that, so that's what I say. I say, well, when they say, how much could you make? I say, well, our spas range from 500 to over 1,500. I usually say 300 because that's what you used to say. Our spas range from 300 to over 1,500, and you can make half. And then what's great is in about 4, 5, 6, 7 months, depending on what they order, they love the product so much, you get to make that all over again. And then what really is exciting is when people want to start their spa business, and I help them with that, and that's pretty much my retirement. So that's how I answer that question, and I just go by the hostess envelope, and it's not about what you're making. It's not, you know, 1 year I made $97,000 doing 2 spas a week, but I have new people on my team that aren't there yet. So, you know, I could say that, and they could go, whoa, but I want my people to be able to say this too, and eventually they will, but right now, what you can say is what you make, and nobody cares about what I'm making, they only care about what you're making, right? So show the visual of what, you know, that is. So then, you know, the next few questions, you're going to know the answers because it's about you. After 4 questions go by, don't let it go anymore, and anybody ever says, you know, I have more questions, to say, you know what, that's a really good question, and when I come around individually, I'll be able to talk to you about that. So that's the next time when I come around, and my next time to share the opportunity. So what I do is I go around, and they have their wish list, and I have their order form. And I go to every single person, and each person, the first question I ask them is there anything I can do for you tonight? I always had a hard time with selling, because I would like present my stuff, and I'd go almost hide, because I just didn't like that idea. I'd rather give it to you than you buy it from me, which is stupid. But they would find you. They would come and find me and give me the money for it. So it's all in your head, and it's really not even real. So just share, you know? So I ask each person, is there anything I can help you with tonight? In other words, I'm saying, what do you want to get? The next thing I ask them is, and I ask them no matter what, would you like to have a few people over? And in October, you got to say the month you want. So when you're asking for anything, you need to be specific so that you know exactly what you're asking. Would you like to have a few people over in October and get some extra free products? And I'm tapping the wish list, because now they're looking at all the stuff that they want. And I just kind of go, extra free products, and they look. And then, and I say, and I look at what it is, and I either say, you probably could get all of this, you know, or you could get a lot of this and get some deep discounts. So that wish list really helps with having it right in front of them. One more thing on the wish list, if they don't want to start circling, you tell them, make sure you put your name and your phone number and your birthday on there, because I always give birthday gifts to my clients. Then they start circling everything, because I think they think you're going to give it all to them. So that helps you with the wish list. It's causing them to really see what they really loved. I've had people come up, my last few spas have been really good. I had people come up, I haven't even put orders in yet, so I was like nuts, but over 700, over 800, 2 bookings, and a recruit at each. So the last ones have been fantastic. And they've been bringing up this wish list like this is their order. I mean, like, I'm like, okay, like I'm ready, I'm thinking, okay, they're gonna pick one or whatever too. No, they're like, this is it. Or I try to make a set for them. I try to think of how it would be best for them. And so that's the other question is, you know, have you thought about, you know, and it's just in conversation. It's not like a set thing that I say, but I always revisit the kit. I'm always looking at what they want and referring it to, you know, would you ever think about doing this? Would you like to have a few people over and see? Would you like to be able to order like I do? You know, different things that you just casually say with them. So, and if it's a one-on-one is when I would say that's when I'm really recruiting, not, and the pressure's off, you're just there with the people, you're just talking, you're not, presenting anything. And then another thing is the second part, which is the meaningful conversation. And this is the biggest part that is going to help your team. Anybody would probably, buy that kit because they're going to get a ton of product at a great price, right? But the meaningful conversation is the most important part that has really helped me. Before, I used to be like, no, you don't have to come to meetings. No, you don't have to do anything. I didn't want to rock the boat. I just wanted them to sneak in and hopefully everything was going to be okay. But that's what the kind of teams I was having, is people that really didn't do anything and really didn't want to. And really my goal is not necessarily for me to move up, but it's I want to be surrounded by spa girls that love to do what I do, because it's just more fun. It pays better too. So anyway, so the meaningful conversation goes like this. As they get the kit, I tell them, okay, I'd like to set up tomorrow. Can I come over? Try for tomorrow. If you try for next week, it'll be the next week or the next week. So start with tomorrow. Say, all right, I'd like to come over tomorrow, or maybe you can have them come to you, whatever you like, and say, I am going to give you the product guide, and I'm going to go through and show you everything that you can get. And we're going to just kind of go through the products so you know what you can get in your discounts and show you how to do the website, and just spend a few minutes with them. So when I go over there, this is what I'm doing with them. I'm finding out why did they join. And, it's pretty important to do this because I thought, well, they're either going to join for extra money, they're going to join because they want to share with friends and family and get a discount and a discussion. But you know what? I have people on my team that doesn't even apply. They have a full-time job. It's not the money. It's not the discount. It's the one lady that I spoke with recently she said, and she's a professional businesswoman, very quiet. She said, everybody I know doesn't take care of themselves. And she said, all I want to do is to share how to take care of yourself with these great products. That's her thing. And she's been doing spas and spas and spas. So it's like, there's lots of reasons out there. If you don't ask them, you don't know what it is. And then the other thing is, I don't put the order with agreement in when I get it that night. I bring it with me to when I meet them, because I always try to upgrade them to the premium kit. If they're interested in selling or making any extra income, those 2 bags are really going to help them when they go to their spas. So I'm showing them that. I'm showing them that you can get deferred payment. I'm showing them how this really is a better option for them, and the gift with purchase and all of it, because they get all of it and they're able to get started selling right away. Now, I really only use the $50 one, to be honest with you, because they don't really have a lot there to start selling or doing a spa, but we do that if that's something that is better or more comfortable for them, and then they can start holiday selling right away. But that really is the only option for me. I really try to just tell them what is best for them, and then they, go along with that. So finding that out. And then I'll put that in. The other thing I have them do is, which goes with the expectations of your spa girl. If they say, well, I don't want to go to meetings, do I have to go to meetings? Well, I used to say, no, you don't have to go to meetings. But now it's like, you know what? You do have to go to meetings. You do have to do this. So what I kind of, in a nice way, I say, well, all of our successful spa girls do. And you know what? We have a blast. We're like a family. We hang out together. We do fun things, and you don't want to miss the next one. So that's a way that you can have the expectation of yes. The other thing is, if they don't go to BeautiControl or they don't have a spa, they really should be your client. Because I've even pulled, the order with agreement back and said, when they said, no, I'm not going to go to class, and I really don't want to do any spas. I've literally pulled it back, and sometimes they pull it back. But by doing this and having that expectation of not, you get to do whatever you want to, it's, you know what, if you're going to get this and take advantage of it, there's a couple things that are really going to help you, and this is what we do. So since I've been doing that, you kind of feel chicken doing it, because it's like, I don't want to make anybody do anything they don't want to, but you know what, it really helps them. Because I have people that would have never known about things, would have probably put their kit in the closet and never known if I didn't say this is what we do. So that's just something else that really helps. The other thing is, I have them look at their calendar and pick 3 spa days. And I tell them, let's look at your calendar now before I go, and let's pick 3 spa days this month when we're going to have some people over. Now, you can do all 3 of these yourself, or I can come and do one with you, and you can get 2 other people to do the other 2. So it's making her active, and I don't mind coming and do the one with them. I don't mind helping them to see what I see. I don't mind helping them to get more bookings. Actually, I love doing it. So, and you will too. So, especially when they're excited about it. And then it makes them think, well, I could either do these other 3, and they're on my calendar, so they're not going to cancel, or I could try to get 2 other people to do it. So now they're starting to spot. They're starting to get, things moving, which has really helped. And then the other thing that I just want to share with you, and it's really the end of everything that I want to say, unless you have any questions about anything, is, when you don't have a lot of spas, you're not going to be able to share the opportunity. All of these things are like, really, helped me a lot, but what really helped me was I know I have to have a lot of spas, or I have to get out of the house and talk to a lot of people. I have to have people in front of me to be able to share the opportunity. So I have like a booking system. I was recently able to quit my job, which is awesome. So you would think, I love it. I exercise every day. I love my life. But my spas have always been there. I've always had spas, and that's because as soon as I came on, once a week, and this is just what I did, once a week while my son played soccer, he had a 2-hour soccer practice Monday night from 5 to 6. And so for 1 hour, I sat in my car and I made phone calls. And all it was, no emotion at all. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I'm going to the next person to see who does. We're just detectives. We're trying, we're not like trying to make everybody do what we want. We're trying to find who wants to do it. And honestly, there's tons of people that want to do it. So don't waste your time. Hey, would you like to have a few people over? And anyone who's new, just be excited a little bit. I kind of say, soften your voice a little bit, because you don't want to talk at people, you want to invite people. So, hey, I'm starting something new. It's all spa treatments, anti-aging, deconditioning. Will you have a few people over in October or November, and I'll get you some free discounts or free whatever, for extra free gifts. Or you could just say, maybe you're not new. Would you like to have a few people over in October or November, and I'll get you some extra, free gifts. Simple questions. You don't have to be this big elaborate conversation. And then, if they want more information about it, great. You have the conversation going, but that's how you just kind of start it. Hey, I need some practice spas. Will you, I need 6 practice spas. Will you do 3? I need 3 big ones and 3 little ones. Will you do a big one or a little one? I mean, any way you want to like make a game of it, but you do it every single week. So if you really don't have any spas, for an hour a day, you try to get them. You just start booking them. And maybe you're working all day long and you're thinking to yourself, how do I fit this in? I work 6 to 8 hours. I don't feel like doing it when I get home. So like, what if we're a little bit creative and you just bring a little file cabinet with you or your little phone numbers, and as you go to work, you go and you do your thing for 6 to 8 hours, and then right before you come home, you're not even home yet, you're in the car, and you make about 3 or 4 phone calls before you even turn the car on. And just give it a try. What if a half hour before you go to your spa, you go a half hour earlier than that, sit off the side of the road? I booked 3 spas before I went in and booked 2, that's 5. You only need 8 to 10 a month, so it's just little things that, might help you to get out of the box. Sometimes it's all in our head as to why we can't do what we do. Like, I'm a morning person. If I call someone at 7 o'clock, I feel like it's midnight. I am like, there's no way. I could talk to her at 1 in the morning and she's up. But honestly, I feel like that's no way they're going to say no. But I'm starting to get a little bit over that. It's all in your head. So you never know unless you ask. So I suggest once a week, you try to do that. The other thing is kind of a simple thing, is once you have the 8 to 10 spas for your month, then maybe you don't have to call an hour a day. Maybe you can call that an hour a week, just calling your spas that you have, calling the people that you want to book your spas with, and then fill in the extra hour with recruiting calls, calling back and following up, calling back and getting reorders, just an hour a day. But if you do it, or an hour a week, but if you do it every single week, that's when you're going to start seeing it. And one more thing, I'm not talking too long. I wasn't going to talk it, now I won't. Is take the results out of it. Completely take everything out of it and just start driving yourself by the fact that you're doing it. And you know what? I worked my 8 to 10 hours at that other job, and I made the same amount I'm always going to make. And now I work my hour, and I'm going to have a chance to possibly really have myself retire, or whatever it is that your goals are for, and just be glad about that. And eventually the results will catch you. So I hope this helps you guys.